All right, what is going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another episode of Talking Buffalo, your weekday daily driver for Buffalo Sports Talk and more. My name is Patrick Moran. Thank you so much for watching, for listening, however you are consuming the show. Do appreciate you. Shout out to our sponsor, Sunny Reds, 1841 Aber Road, just down the way from a Highmark Stadium that, as we record this live on the video side anyway, people are emptying, not in a very good mood, at least if you're a Bills fan. I am not in a very good mood either. I'm going to tell you that right off the top. As usual, for our post-game show, I'm joined by Joe from Queens. The New England Patriots go to Orchard Park and knock off the Buffalo Bills 23-20. There are no undefeated teams left in the NFL already after 5 weeks. A lot to talk about with this game. Obviously, a home loss, the first one in quite a while. Not a lot good, but we'll get to all of it. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm tired, and that kind of sucked. And, you know, it is. I hate to say the word, it is what it is. Here, let me get my beer out of the way. I got a Dogfish, Juicy Pale Ale, Grateful Dead. Not a big Grateful Dead fan. Are you a Grateful Dead fan? Probably not. You don't seem like you would be.
No.
No.
I'm not a fan of a lot of shit right now.
Oh, here he comes. Angry
Gonna be
Pat.
honest with you, man. Well, look, man, you knew it was coming. This team wasn't going 17-0. I understand that. I'm gonna overreact. That's what we do, or at least that's what I do on the instant live reaction show. This game ended like literally not even 15 minutes ago, so I'm still kind of processing everything a little bit here in real time. It was just a very frustrating evening. Where the hell do we start? Let me say this, actually, okay? Before we get into a lot of the stuff that the Bills did wrong, because the Bills did a lot wrong in this football game to still lose by 3 points. But I actually, earlier in the day, I tweeted out this. I said, if you remove the fandom from all this and you take the emotion out and you can look at it objectively, not as a Bills fan, the New England Patriots were coming into this game, I felt like, with an awesome opportunity. They're 2-2. They got a really talented quarterback, which we sure as shit saw in this football game in his second year. They let a game against Pittsburgh earlier in the year get away from them. They had 5 turnovers. But anyway, a team that's 2-2 and an opportunity to come to Orchard Park and win or lose, send a message that, we're here. And a lot changes in just 24 hours sometimes. 24 hours ago, it felt like the Bills we weren't even thinking about the AFC East. We're thinking about nothing else except the number 1 seed in the AFC. And look, the Bills still only have 1 loss. They very well could end up being the number 1 seed in the AFC. But now, as we're recording this, they're 1 game ahead of the New England Patriots, who beat the Bills in Buffalo and will get a rematch later in the season in Foxborough. And Drake Maye played really good. I mean, that play, I'm going to be haunted all week as a fan. Daquan Jones having him by his jersey and A, not bringing him down, and B, even if he would have threw the ball away and avoided the sack, that would have been incredible. But for him to throw that pass and a completion, it blew my mind. That felt very Josh Allen-ish, and it was done to the Bills. So as a Bills fan, you got the rare glimpse of what it's like to have Josh Allen do shit to you. You know what I mean? Usually it's the other way around. We're going to get to a lot of stuff. Helter Skelter episode here today. I'll get to some comments. They are flooding right now here in the live chat. But I don't know, your initial thoughts of the game before we get to, like I said, some specifics that really got me, honestly, in a fucking bad mood right now.
All right, well, I'm not in a bad mood like you. They're still 4-1, and they're tied with the best record in the league. So I'm not tripping out yet. I thought it was a very, very sloppy game by the Bills. A lot of forced errors by them, penalties. I mean, the penalties, we can get in. I'm not getting into it. I know Hockley juiced out of his mind and was throwing freaking penalty flags left and right on questionable stuff. But whatever. It was more, they beat themselves a little bit more than I think the Patriots beat them. Now, the Patriots, that's not to discredit the Patriots. They had some great stuff. Like you said, Drake Maye was really good in the second half. Dude, Maye had 85 yards passing in the first half, and then he finished with 267 yards, almost 200 yards in the second half. Like, He played outstanding, but just a lot of bad errors. And I picked the Bills to win by like 3. I think it was what I picked on Blue Sky. Like I thought
Mhm.
it would be a very close game. And part of the reason was New England always they play Buffalo tough. Even since Josh Allen became the man, they would be like a blowout here, but then they would play him tough here and there. And then it was always that way. And I just felt like they were gonna play them tough. And I think it was a lot of miscues, and the Patriots didn't make mistakes. Really, they had the couple of fumbles or whatever, but for the most part, they weren't sloppy. And
Yeah.
there's a couple long term things I'm a little worried about that we'll get into. But I think coming out of this game tonight, I agree. Like New England is pretty damn good. They're going to be in this division hunt. It doesn't feel like it's a walk away as of right now. They should have been tied with the Bills, but they kind of blew it against Pittsburgh. But I think I'm going to come away with the biggest thing for me is how good Stefon Diggs was. And
Yeah, we'll get into him.
you didn't give me a rundown, so I'm talking about Diggs now. So I'm just saying, I think for this game, like he was incredible, and you have to give him you have to give him a lot of credit. Guy comes off an ACL 9 months ago, and he looks the same, and he looked awesome. And all the shit about he lost a step that we kept hearing about, he didn't lose a step. Maybe he lost his smile, to steal Shawn Michaels, analogy, but he was great tonight. That's what I'll take it. That's what I'll remember this game for, was how fucking great he was tonight.
Well, he was. He dominated the Bills. Stefon Diggs dominated the Bills like nobody else has this season. We'll call it what it is right off the bat. I'll say this, and I've seen a couple comments in the chat alluding to it, and I couldn't agree more. The Bills have been flirting with this result multiple times this season. I mean, they were down 15 against Baltimore in the fourth quarter, and they could have lost that. They could have even lost that Saints game last week. They could have lost the Miami game as well. The only game this season where the Bills have really went out and just dominated was the Jets game on the road, which everybody's dominating the Jets. They're winless and they suck. All right, so let's just call that what it is. But one thing you said that I completely agree with is, unlike those other teams, the Patriots did not beat themselves today. Yeah, they had one turnover in the football game, and it was early, and it kind of washed away one of the Bills' 3 turnovers. But we were waiting for the Patriots to kind of fold to make that mistake, whether it was Drake Maye throwing an interception. But like I said, he didn't. He didn't make any mistakes. Waiting for a big drop from Stefon Diggs or something. That didn't happen. Waiting for the kicker to miss a 52-yarder so Josh could get the ball with 20 seconds left and probably connect on 2 passes, and bam, the Bills win the game. We kept waiting for New England to do it to themselves, and they never did in this game. So again, it's kind of like this has been coming. It feels like this was overdue. The Bills were 4-0, but it really at times didn't feel like 4-0. We've talked a lot about, wow, we're being really critical of a team that's undefeated, because this is a team that is very, very good, but they're not without flaws.
We've been saying that since day one. We've been saying they do have flaws.
But they got exposed bad in this football game. Bad.
Would I say exposed badly?
How this was the poster for their problems, this football game.
I thought in the first half their defense was fine. They were after Drake the first half.
They played great on defense in the first half.
The pass rush was great. The second half, they gave up 2 really bad drives, and then the last drive in the game, it was a freaking 52-yarder. I think my biggest worry, and we've been talking about this when it comes to the defense, is Trey White. That cornerback number 2. If I'm Brandon Beane, I'm calling someone and you know me, I've always loved wide receivers and all that shit. But I just went into this whole prelude of how great Diggs was. It was also that Trey White was not good at all tonight. And if you want to say Diggs lost a step, which I disagree with, Trey White lost 3 steps. And that's, I think, that's a big issue right now. And I like to know, if I'm asking someone or the film bros or whoever, why wasn't Christian Benford on Diggs tonight?
Because they play sides of the field. He does not go and match up on guys one-on-one.
He should shallow him. He should be in their zone, and that's it. I mean, I'm saying
I agree with you, and you're right. All right, so if there's takeaways that are short-term and long-term from this game. The biggest short-term takeaway is, again, Stefon Diggs just absolutely decimated the Buffalo Bills. To me, that's far and away the biggest part of this game. 10 catches for 146 yards and a couple of incredible catches as well. That's your short-term takeaway. The long-term is Trey White's cooked. And here's the problem, Joe. What are they going to do about it? Nothing in the interim because there's nothing they can do about it. Dorian Strong, who was starting to take reps away from him, and I feel like if he was healthy after this game, might be your new starter. He's on IR. He's out for at least 4 weeks with the neck. I can tell you right now, I'd bet money Max Saracen's not back for at least 3 to 4 more games, at least. What are you going to do? You're going to play Jamarcus Ingram? They're not going to do that. So you're stuck with Trey White, but calling out only Trey White is underselling the totality of a secondary that's just not good. I don't have to wait for the film on Monday. I can tell you 3 or 4 times minimum where Cole Bishop and Taylor Rapp were significantly late getting to a play. They're not good safeties. They are not good safeties. At best, they're adequate. Christian Benford is a very good corner. He's not one of the top 5 in the league, but he's a very good corner. He's solid. He's fine out there.
He's
fine. He's not.
Look, hold on. My apologies, Pat. Before this season, we talked about he was a shutdown. You're not throwing at him. He's been thrown at this season.
Yeah, he's not. He hasn't been a shutdown corner. He's been okay this year.
Yeah, but I agree with your point. Yes, the secondary is a disaster.
I'm not done because I'll tell you another guy. What's going on with Teron Johnson this year? I'm not going to say he looks cooked. The cook's just such an easy word to throw around. Trey White looks cooked. Where's Teron Johnson? Has he made a play this year? I haven't seen it. He's done a terrible job with tackling. He has not played well. The safeties have not played well. Trey White has been fine because he hasn't been tested until this game. Finally, Mike Vrabel and somebody said, you know what? We're going to test Trey White. We're going to test Trey White. And they did. And you saw the results. So that is a problem. I think this entire secondary after Christian Benford is very middle of the pack at best. At best. I was at a point in this game, I put this on Facebook because I didn't want to deal with 10 million people on Twitter. I said, bro, I'm ready to see DeMar Hamlin out there instead of Taylor Rapp right now. That's how over I am with Taylor Rapp. He is just doing nothing out there at all. At all. He's doing nothing out there. And it's just so easy for us, you and I, and Joe Marino, and Bruce Nolan, and Greg Thompson, and all these people to just say Trey White this, Trey White that. It is more than just Trey White in this secondary. It's not a good secondary. And the other thing, Joe, is the defensive tackle position after Ed Oliver is whack. It's whack. They did nothing this game. They did nothing this game. Up the middle, interior guys. Daquan Jones had a chance to be a hero. You bring down Maye, and he didn't do it. I mean, he got back there. It was the only pressure I think he had this game. And Drake Maye makes the play, man. You got to finish the rep, and he did it. So, I don't know. Those are like things that I think, those are my biggest takeaways from this game. I don't think the secondary is good. I don't think Ed Oliver, or after Ed Oliver, the defensive tackle position is any good. Greg Rousseau played great. We'll talk about him if you want. Oh, one other little tiny thing, too. Guess who didn't play in the second half?
The Italian strongman, Matt Milano.
Matt Milano, pec injury. He was on the sidelines, and then with his helmet on. He was out there, didn't play a rep. Shaq Thompson, who played fine. In fact, he had a really good play late in the fourth quarter. So you could add Matt Milano might be done. I mean, if he's going to miss more games at this point, what do you do, man? What do you do?
I mean, I've talked about Matt Milano. I've been worried about him for the last couple of years staying healthy. I think he just can't stay healthy. That's it. I mean, it's kind of a wrap. I thought Shaq Thompson played pretty well tonight. If you want me to go into some people, I thought he's a good linebacker. He should play more.
He'll be fine. They'll be fine with him instead of Milano.
I don't know. You know, after a loss like this, like you seem very upset, and I get it. Like, and I'm.
Well, I won't be as upset tomorrow, though.
Yeah, I know. I get it. This is like we're very impulsive. I get that, but like they only allowed 23 points tonight. It wasn't like oh my god, like holy shit, they their defense got shredded. Their defense was bad, in my opinion, for like 3 drives. Like, and they were mostly in the second half where, you know, some crazy plays by Drake Maye and Stefon Diggs burning them. And we kind of just went over like the issues. But what about the offense?
We're gonna get there.
Okay, well, I'm just saying the offense scored just 23 points. I'm used to them scoring 30 and all that sort of jazz.
Sure.
But I just think the Bills beat themselves tonight. With
Agreed.
A lot of errors, more so, like just the penalties. That stuff was just really crazy. Josh Allen had some bad. He had the interception that was definitely like an FU interception where you could just tell he was pissed, and he's like, "I'm gonna bury this into the back of a freaking brick wall," and he got pissed, and that was it. So,
yeah, I mean, listen, you're right about the defense. We've been on the air for 16 minutes, and I thank the sponsor and have blasted the defense and Trey White for 16 minutes. You're not wrong. You're 100% right. Go back to the first half. The Bills' defense is the only reason why they were down 3 points at the half. Quite literally, man. When you look at what was it on the defense? First of all, Greg Rizzo, especially in the first half, he had that game. We've been waiting all year for it. He had a sack and 2 tackles for a loss in the first half. Milano, before he got hurt, he played good. But what did they hold? Like 3 punts? And they got 3 punts and a turnover, the Bills defense, in the first half. They kept them in the football game. They also got a stop with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, too. Shaq Thompson made a big play running Drake Maye down. So, yeah, the defense is leaky. The secondary's whacked. The defensive tackles are nothing without Oliver, for sure. But the offense this game deserves a lot of shit. And listen, Joe, sometimes when I fight with my wife, and I don't want to admit that I'm wrong, but at some point it's just so obvious that she's right that I have no choice. The turnovers were the difference in this game. So don't ever say turnovers don't mean shit, dude. Well, the turnovers were the biggest reason the Bills are 4-1 right now.
No, I don't agree with that.
Come on, how could you not agree with that?
It's not the biggest reason. What happened? Did the New England score on those turnovers? I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I think they scored like 1 field goal.
They lost by a field goal.
They would have. Look,
listen. 2 turnovers in the first half, 2 lost fumbles, okay? The Josh Allen interception absolute cost them points. They were scoring points. They were inside the 30 when he threw that interception.
Okay.
All right? That was an awful, and it was a bad interception, too. It was just a bad interception.
In this game, yes, because where the turnovers took place was bad. As you have said, not every turnover is the same or whatever. You have one that you're about to score, the interception, and the other one you gave them like the fumble. What was like the 20-yard line? So they just kicked the field goal. So yeah, those are bad turnovers, but other turnovers don't matter as much. But whatever. I'm not going to get in this argument. You could get into it with Bruce Nolan or fucking Matt Richform the 8th.
It mattered in this game, dude. The Josh Allen interception, the Josh Allen interception, inexcusable.
Okay, fine.
While there was that. There's also, from the fourth quarter, their last drive when they had the ball, they had to settle for a field goal. The drive stalled. Nobody could get open. I'll tell you right now, the number one thing that I am going to look for on Monday when I watch this back is the receivers, because I had multiple people whose football opinions that I put trust in tell me that literally nobody was getting open this game, with the exception of Dalton Kincaid, who had a great game. But no receivers were getting open whatsoever beyond like 2 or 3 yards. That's a problem. And the everybody eats mantra is fun, and it works more times than it doesn't. There's no question about that. But sometimes you just need that number one alpha, and that's what Stefon did today. Well, that was kind of a big fuck you to the Bills, too, by the way. I can imagine what kind of mood Stefon Diggs is in right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's banging Cardi B or whatever right now, probably. So happy. Look, I'm just gonna say this about Diggs, and I've talked about it numerous times on the show. We'll never know why they broke up. I mean, there's rumors about why the Bills had to trade him. I mean, we know he wanted out. We don't know why. Blah blah blah. But there's one thing, and I stuck with it, and and like before, when you wind your roses because of the fucking turnover argument we've had. I want my roses here because you had told me for years, Stefon Diggs lost a step. He didn't lose a step. The offense changed, and for whatever reason, they kind of were phasing him out with Joe Brady. He didn't lose a step. He got in a different offense, and he's still the same Stefon Diggs. So that's what I was always against. I was like, that dude did not lose his step. Now, if you want to say fuck him because he wanted out of here, totally get that. Fine. But he did not lose a step. I saw that today. He's got back-to-back 100-yard games. It's amazing how a guy like him can come off an injury, and he looks great. And he had Trey White. I'm not trying to shit on Trey White more, but that poor guy gets an ACL injury. He's done forever. Basically, he's not the same. And last thing about Diggs, I wanted to say, and you'll probably go in there. I always felt and someone told me this the other day, and I was like, that is perfect. His legacy here is a little bit a low man's version of Dominic Hasek, a little bit, where Hasek was the man, but he had a tumultuous time here with the media, with certain fans. Sometimes he wanted out of here. People were pissed off about it. And some of his teammates didn't like him, all that sort of stuff. And then he left. And then to me tonight, I don't know. It seemed like he was kind of being really nice with everyone and playful with Allen and McDermott. And I don't know what the deal was, but I feel like that's how people are going to remember him down the road. When he retires a little bit, it was great 4 years. They're salty now. And but you forget. And and especially if he's still going to be good, it's one thing when you think a guy sucks and he leaves. And then it's he leaves, and then it's oh, okay. But then when he's good, you're oh, shit. Maybe you have a little bit more fondness of him, or you wish he was here. But, overall, he played outstanding. But going to the Bills real quick, I mean, you talked about the alpha male thing, and I agree with that. But Dalton Kincaid had a great game tonight. He was an alpha male, I felt, tonight. His numbers, he had over 100 yards receiving. He did pretty damn well. He was the
only weapon. He was the only weapon on offense. Well, Keon had a touchdown catch, whatever. But look, man.
But I'm just saying, it was, here's, sorry. Here, my headphones went off. Here's why I think the offense struggled. And I think the key was here. They did not have James Cook to help out. James Cook had 53 yards rushing or something like that. I think he only had 5 carries in the second half. And the way this offense has worked, as much as I hate it, or I make fun of it, I mean, it's worked. They need balance or complementary football. And they didn't get that tonight when it came to James Cook. And you could tell me, because I'm not watching the film, was it were they zeroing in on Cook?
They're good against the run. They're just good against the run. They were second in the league coming into this game.
But I think that's why the offense had some issues tonight. Yes, guys couldn't get open, but you still had Dalton Kincaid over 100 yards. I think the issue was they couldn't run the football with James Cook. And your boy Ray Davis, I don't know what the hell happened to him. Every time he rushes the football,
he's got no juice. He's just got no juice.
I'm getting flashbacks to Mike Tolbert, and he's just got no juice. I don't know what the hell happened to him, but
yeah. Let's do this. On the video side, I'm going to take literally about a 4-second break, and we will be right back with the stream immediately. All right, I'm back. Can you hear me, Joe?
I can, yes.
All right, cool. Because there was something going on at one of the buttons is stuck, but as long as you can hear me, that's all I give a shit.
We couldn't get the happy. We couldn't get the happy break music, unfortunately.
Yeah, no happy break music today. It's still showing that it's stuck, but I don't care. I don't even want to mess around with it. Anyway, so before the break, we were talking about Cook not being able to get off. I agree with you. That certainly doesn't help them when they don't have that balance. But I strongly suspect the biggest problem with this offense is going to be, well, 2 things. 2 things really hurt them tonight, for sure. Number one, again, I got a strong suspicion that receivers just weren't open. I don't think Josh Allen was missing wide open guys. I don't think anybody was open. That was a problem. And then the other problem, and holy shit, man, was this a big problem in the first half where they only scored 3 points to 2 turnovers. Obviously, that hurts. But you know what else hurts? When you have 8 accepted penalties in the first fucking half of a football game, and not 1, not 2, 3 holding penalties on first down in the first half. The Bills 3 times on a 1st and 10 got called for holding in the first half. They were putting themselves behind the 8 ball literally almost every drive. And when you go look at the totality of the game, the Bills lose 23-20. Well, guess what? They got held to 3 points in the first half. And with respect, I don't want to be disrespectful to a pesky New England defense, the Bills were their own worst enemy. Like I said, 2 stupid turnovers. You're calling, we'll get to Joe Brady in a second. And end around to Dawson Knox. Well, I mean, what are we doing here? I don't know if that's on Josh or not, so I need to be careful. But anyway, a fumble, a bad fumble. Keon Coleman has a bad fumble. And then the penalties. The Bills were their own worst enemy in the first half with their offense. And that ultimately played a big factor in this football game. Beating themselves, which is something they usually make the other football team do. But the Bills did that to themselves more than anything else tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, there's not much I could add to that. I do think they kind of beat themselves, which makes it like these are fixable things. Like these are things they do have to they can fix. Aside from Trey White, like, I don't think they can fix him. Their secondary. I think you hit the nail on the head with the secondary. Like if it's not like they've been playing like all-star passing offenses yet. You know what I mean? And I do that. It's a worry for me as well. But
it's annoying, man.
It's just a tedious. It was just I don't know how much you thought. I mean, I think you messaged me at halftime like they were gonna lose this game. Like, and I didn't feel that way. I'm like, oh, they're gonna pull it out. They'll figure it out. And then it's just
sooner or later.
I think once when May made that throw when Daquan Jones was all over him, that's when I was like, oh shit, we're gonna lose this.
I was screaming at my TV, and I got into it with my wife because I watch all the games with my wife, and he made that play, girl. And she was yelling. She was mad that it happened. I'm like, yo, that's what Josh Allen does all the freaking time, man. By the way, shout out to Dan Mayer in the chat. I like you, Dan, but you know what? The language thing after a Bills loss.
He's joking.
All right,
he's joking.
I'm swearing.
Joking.
I don't give a shit.
I've had
now.
DMs with him. He said he joked about that. So
all right. Well, all right. So that was it. And now in terms of the interception, I had to go back in it because I had to remember it again. We're doing this in real time, man. We haven't had a chance to really sit down and plan anything out, put notes together. But the second half. So the Bills are down 6-3, which, by the way, I thought it was a huge push move by the Patriots to kick that field goal before the half. I made fun of them. And I was wrong. How many points did the Patriots win this football game by? 3 points. It's at the 1 yard line, 1 second. I'm like, you're on the road. You're the underdog. You're trying to beat the big, bad, unbeatable at home Buffalo Bills, and you're kicking a fucking field goal. I laughed at them.
Yeah,
and the difference in the game. Now, if they get it and they score a touchdown, maybe it doesn't even come down to the last play for a kick. But my point was, I laughed at that. I thought that was a huge push move, and they ended up winning this game by a field goal. But anyway, so Buffalo plays as bad and as sloppy, which, by the way, that was an ugly, sloppy ass half of NFL football in prime time for the world to watch. The Bills come out, they go right down the field, and they score. Now they're up 10-6, but then New England gets the ball, and they come right back down, they score, and it's 13-10. The Bills are moving. And then it's like 2nd and 3 from, I don't know, inside the 30. Khalil Shakir gets called for offensive pass interference. And then the very next play was the worst play that Josh Allen's made this year with the interception. Took points off the board, at least 3, maybe 7. And again, it just proved to be a big difference in this game. I kind of feel like we're just going to spin our wheels in circles right now because we keep going back to the same reasons why they lost. Not used to this type of show, to be honest with you right now.
Yeah, hey, it's the first home loss they've had in the regular season since the Denver game that you despise from 2023.
Joe Brady. Let's talk about Joe Brady. What did you think of some of the things? What comes to mind for me that annoys me? The Knox, obviously, the end around that pissed me off.
Was that supposed to go to Knox? That end around?
It was an end around. It was him. It was him.
It was him. Yeah, God, I'm so sick of Dawson Knox.
Me too, man. I could do without him.
Yeah,
but Josh Allen technically got charged with the fumble.
Sure.
I haven't even seen the replay. I don't know. It was a dumb fucking call. I know that much for sure. Going into that pissed me off. I know there were a couple times on third down. One specifically, I actually wrote it down. There was a 3rd and 3, and James Cook's not even on the field.
Yeah,
he's not even on the field.
There was some weird usage of Cook in the second half.
Man.
Like I was like, why is Ty in? Why is? Yeah, it was kind of weird. But like, look, I'm still pretty confident right now in them. I really like you said, we're spinning our wheels. But like, I go back to just when you watch this game left, there were points on the board they could have had, and I just think they shot themselves in the foot. But let me ask you this: I want to talk about Mike Vrabel real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that? So, Sean McDermott against NFL coaches who he's gone against at least twice. There's 2 coaches that have a above 500 record against him in the regular season. It's Bill Belichick, because a lot of that was the first 3 years of McDermott. Belichick, Brady were still there, and they swept them. Like, they went 6-0, and they caught back, but he's still above 500. And Mike Vrabel is now 3-2 against McDermott in the regular season. And this is like Josh Allen regular season. This isn't like, like whatever, going back to 2015, 16 or 17. But like, I wonder if there is a little bit of like, he's probably next to Belichick, obviously, he's probably the best coach that they've had in that division, like in the last like 5-6 years. Like, I always liked Vrabel. He did good in Tennessee, and then they hated him at the end. But I think that's an interesting thing. And the other thing too, and this is, I'm just thinking about this in real time. I felt Josh Allen really pressed tonight. Like, you could just tell he was really, there was some old Josh Allen, like, wild pony with the interception and some throws that were like, all right, take it easy, buddy. And I'm not saying I'm against that. It's fine, but
I was going to say, be careful here.
I know, relax.
Be careful.
I'm I wonder if he got too amped up for Stefon Diggs. Because I went back to last year, I thought about when the Bills played the Texans. If you remember that game, Allen was out of it. He was not good in that game. He struggled, and I don't know if he he could say all he wants, like, oh, I don't give a shit in the press. They're all gonna say that. But I just wonder if he saw him coming and he pressed a little bit more, because he really did press a lot in this game, I felt. And he pressed a lot last year against Houston. And it's just something to throw out there a little bit in terms of the mind games of, sometimes they do that, and like, whatever happened between them, we'll never know. Go ahead.
It's a fair question. I would say no. Did he press some? I don't think it was because of Stefon Diggs. Did he press some? I'd say yes, for 2 reasons. Number one, they were not effectively running the football. That's a big part of it. And number two, no, I'm telling you, man, people that I can't say it before I watch the film to confirm it, but nobody was fucking open in this football game except for Dalton Kincaid. So, I mean, you look at a couple of the plays in the fourth quarter where he scrambled to the right and he was going to run, holding on to the ball. Just ain't nobody getting open. And then you look at the 3 turnovers. The Knox thing, I don't think that's Josh Allen's fault. The Keon Coleman fumble, definitely. I mean, Josh didn't strip the ball from Keon Coleman. The interception, yes, he forced it. And by the way, I looked it up. It was 2nd and 3 from the New England 19. So, again, that probably, if you look at 2 plays in this football game that you could say probably lost the game for the Bills in real time. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's that interception, and it's that Daquan Jones having Drake Maye and not only not pulling him down, but allowing him to complete a 12-yard pass. That was a 20. If Daquan Jones brings down Drake Maye, that's a sack. It's 2nd and 20-something, man. They're punting the ball, and the Bills are going to have a chance to win the game.
How did you feel about Curtis Samuel playing? Like Elijah Moore? I mean, Samuel, he got a touchdown. Yeah, I wonder if he's going to be in the lineup. I liked his juice he had. Like, is they're going to keep him, or like,
yes.
They're weird.
Well, dude, he's making $8 million. He's playing.
I know, but he wasn't sitting there for the first fucking 3 weeks. He wasn't doing anything.
I agree. I'll tell you what I didn't like. It didn't matter, but what was he thinking? The ball dropped at the 2-yard line. Shouldn't he let that go into the end zone? He burned off like 8 seconds on that last kick return to get to the 25-yard. Plus, they had another penalty in that football game. Yeah, he was fine. I had tweeted earlier, in the game, I was like, I'm really ready for freaking Josh Palmer to start doing something. And then he has a 23-yard catch, but that's it. I'm looking at Josh Palmer right now, 2 catches for 35 yards. At some point, we might have to have a Josh Palmer discussion. Like, where's his production? He was supposed to be the breakout guy, just waiting, for the opportunity here in Buffalo.
Well, everyone eats.
That is not happening. Dalton Kincaid has been great. James Cook has been great. And Josh, of course. That's about it for the offense, though. The rest have been streaky. Khalil Shakir's been pretty good. He's had a couple great moments, but he's been fine. Keon Coleman has been up and down. By the way, more Joe Brady shit. The back-to-back fades to low percentage plays to Keon Coleman, back-to-back, especially on third down. I just hate some of the shit that Joe Brady does. And maybe it's just too easy to nitpick every little thing with the OC, but I wasn't thrilled with that at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's they do some weird things. They
should have lost this game. Should have lost this game. They should not. They didn't deserve to win it though, but they still feel like they should have lost this football game.
I think, yeah, it was it's a weird game. Like it was, what was it, 6-3 at halftime, and like both offenses weren't really doing much, and then like they kind of exploded a little bit in the third quarter. I think it's. Did
you feel like the Bills were lucky? Did you feel like it was a victory to go in the locker room down 6-3? Because I sure did.
Offensively speaking, yeah, but the defense was holding its own. The defense, look, I was really impressed with the defense in the first half. I was really impressed. And then in the second half, they kind of fell on their face a little bit there. But I think we talked about the Diggs stuff, like taking it away from this, like just being like a Stefon Diggs game, like that's how we remember it. And it could be the New England Patriots are back kind of game. But I'm not. What do you mean, you just said. They're okay.
They're respectable. They're not bad.
You're going to listen to Podfather tomorrow say they're back, and then you're going to be like, I think they're back too, because Podfather said so.
I look at the stats here. So the New England Patriots only averaged 3.2 yards per carry. So the Bills did do a really good job of stopping the run. The Patriots only had one run of 10+ yards, which the Bills have given up 26 through the first 4 games, which is just fucking ridiculous. So the run defense was really good. And if you look at all the other receivers beyond Stefon Diggs, they did a good job there. Drake Maye was sacked 4 times. Like I said, Greg Rizzo had a really good game. AJ Epinesa, I thought, had a good game. Shaq Thompson, I thought, had a really good game. Joey Bosa was absent. But it's the interior of the defensive line, which, again, I mean, I don't know what we should expect without Ed Oliver out there. But, yeah, you look at these stats, and it's like, the Bills should not have lost this game. It comes down to 3 turnovers. You turn the ball over 3 times. You lose a turnover battle, not by 1, but you lost a turnover battle by 2. This is going to be the result more times than not. Coming away from this game, we're going to get out of here soon. We're going to do your flush more too.
We should probably take some comments from the audience while I'll do my flush more.
There's too many of them. I can't keep up.
Oh God, get your
wife. I'll try to get to some. Honestly. Real-time issue, if you're watching on the video side, I don't want to, the audio people don't give a shit, but the font that I have for comments is giving me difficulty seeing them before I get them up there. But anyway, what was I going to ask you?
I'll just say that again. I thought the defensive line had a good game in terms of getting after Drake Maye. I really did. even in the second half, they were all over him. Like your boy AJ Epinesa, I thought played a really good game. Like he was all over the place. Rousseau, like we talked about, was good. I'm not gonna say I'm like excited about them, but this was definitely. I really thought they were after him, but just Drake Maye made some plays. Like he was Sandalot Josh Allen from like 2019 or 2020. Like just kind of like
he
just
really
Sandalot.
He really is a young gunslinging type of quarterback, and you kind of gotta respect it a little bit. Here's what I'll ask you. All right. We'll take this game. The Bills lost. The 72 Miami Dolphins probably didn't expect to be popping that champagne like they do every year because it's really early for there to be no undefeated teams. The Bills did have a nice 5-hour run where they were the only undefeated team here in the league. But if you take away what was wrong with this game the most, which to me is the secondary and the receivers just struggling to get open, I guess the right question should be that we should be asking ourselves, and for people who are listening to this, what is fixable and what was a bad game and what is just straight up an issue. Stefon Diggs, 10 catches, 146 yards. That's not going to happen in the Bills every single week. You know what I mean? Like what that went wrong in this football game is just, hey man, it's just one of those days. It's just blah, 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 blah. What is a legitimate issue though with this team?
So what's a legitimate issue with this team, you're asking?
Yes.
I think, as we talked about, the secondary is an issue with this team. And I think, look, them not getting separation, we've talked about that ad nauseum. It's this how it's going to be. It's very hard to shit on the wide receivers because when they hammer in the everyone eats crap, it's hard for me to get angry. Like, okay, Shakir's been okay, but like they spread the freaking ball around all the time. So it's like that's the excuses they had last year and this year. I'll say that. Let me ask you this: who Stefon Diggs got traded for a second rounder? I'm going back to Diggs because we always it's like the old days when we used to just I couldn't stop talking about Diggs. Who they traded the second rounder for him? Who was the second rounder? It was Sanders, right?
I think it was they moved up in the second round.
Okay,
I think TJ Sanders. I think that trade might have been it was that plus something else to move up to go get TJ Sanders, who didn't play in this game, by the way.
Yeah.
Another thing too. Let me rant for 20 seconds here. Freaking people on social media. If I want to, Joe, if you want to, if anyone who's listening to the show, if they want to, you could find a stat that will fit the narrative of what you want people to think. If you want to think that Trey White is a good corner, I am telling you right now, I could find some metrics that will show you that Trey White's a pretty good corner. Mm-hmm. If you want to think
you're calling out the film bros.
Huh?
You're calling out the film bros.
No, I'm calling out. No, this is not film bro. I'm not calling out the film bros. Not on this anyway.
Okay,
I saw somebody on a fantasy site pointed out, they put up a stat for the best rookie defensive tackle pass rush pressure rate. And TJ Sanders was like 2 or 3 in the NFL. And I'm like, what? Are you telling me, folks? All of a sudden, TJ Sanders, who people, including me, were saying doesn't even deserve a jersey right now on game day. He's got a long way to go. I've never said I've been out on TJ Sanders. I like him. He's a second-round rookie. He just didn't look ready to me right now. Could have maybe used him tonight. I don't know. But here's my point. All of a sudden, people think the guy's fucking a really good defensive tackle, and this metric proves it. No, it doesn't, man.
No,
it's bullshit. It's like quarterback rating. How many guys, have a great quarterback rating that ain't shit when, in the game? So get out of here with that bullshit. People saying that TJ Sanders, is really good because of a pass rush pressure rate. I mean, what's the metric for that? Get out of here, man.
That's going to be the promotional video for tomorrow. You're going to the entire rant of TJ Sanders. I'm just going to sit there and nod and not get anything in. I appreciate it. That's going to be the thing you promote there tomorrow. Getting back to my original point, like it's just like the Stefon Diggs trade, like it worked. Like, oh hey, the second rounder, the Houston didn't care and like let him go, and now it's like, you get a guy who's benched, and it's like, I'm tired, but like let me ask you this: does the Stefon Diggs stuff start coming back in terms of? Wouldn't it be nice if he was still here, kind of thing? Look what he's doing over there.
He had 10 catches for 146 yards tonight.
And we were lucky because when he got injured, it took a hiatus for a year. Like, no, we weren't talking really about it. Then last week he played well, excuse me. And now, like, the wide receiver train is going to start. I'm sure Jeremy White's licking his chops right now, and he can't wait to get on the radio tomorrow to talk about how good Stefon Diggs was, and goes, you need that alpha male like we talked about earlier. But now that shit's about to creep back in, I think, with people talking. And I'll say this. If Stefon Diggs was on this team, would they be undefeated right now?
Listen, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I'm going to be honest with you. I think, you're more of a Stefon Diggs guy than I am, okay? Mm-hmm. And that's been well established on this show over the years now. I still think he's a dynamic football player, and we saw that tonight. It wasn't even just the 10 catches for 146 yards, but if I could cue up all 10 of his catches, at least half of them were really difficult catches, too. Yeah. He was making sideline, toe creeping moves. It's just unbelievable. Run after the catch. So I'm not questioning him as a football player. I do think this offense got better when he left because of, I'm not going to throw in the towel on everybody eats because the Bills played bad, had 3 turnovers, and lost 23-20 in week 5. I'm not going to even go close to that far. But what I will say is I am starting to get a concern that these receivers just don't get open. They just don't, man. The Bills are not hard to defend, it feels like to me. Like they make plays anyway, even if you know it's coming. Most teams, the Patriots were an exception. Most teams can't stop James Cook. They cannot stop the Bills' offensive line. They open up holes for James Cook. You got Josh Allen with his legs in his arms. So even if they're somewhat predictable, good luck stopping it. You know what I mean? That's kind of generally what it's like. They're not out thinking teams. They generally out execute teams, but they're not really hard to defend. And I'm going to need Curtis Samuel and Josh Palmer to start playing and mattering. And I especially Josh Palmer. I'm stunned that he hasn't done more.
I really would like, I mean, you're going to tell me how the film looks, but I really would like to know how New England defended Cook tonight. Like, was it like they put like a lot of guys in the box and like dared Josh to throw on them, or was it like they just couldn't get penetration
They're
or whatever?
Just good. I honestly,
well,
I think
you're going to watch the film and
good.
let me know, and I'm going to pretend I agree with you because it was crazy. It was football 101 tells me like if your running back struggling, like, and Cook did struggle tonight. They weren't many lanes for him at all. You know, usually that's okay. Well, it's going to open up the passing game. And as you said, it really wasn't open all that much. It opened up at times, like with Kincaid, and they had those moments. But again, the penalties really suck tonight. I mean, whether you agree with them or not,
the
really
first half is just, my God.
It was fucking brutal.
My
friend came to watch the game tonight with me, and he couldn't handle it anymore. He's like, "Fuck this! I'm done with these penalties." He was not a big football guy.
19 accepted penalties for both teams for this game for 183 yards. Maz Vid's in the live chat. I got to point this out. Mm-hmm. Interesting comment. He goes, Maye is better than Josh Allen was in 2019.
Still early, but
a little early. I'm
not saying Allen was great either. He was okay in 2019, but Allen was. I do feel like that Maye and Allen in 2019. If you really want to get onto that bullshit, like it was a lot of Sandlot play tonight. Like it really was him making plays on his own. It felt like
the one thing I will say, Bobby Babbage doesn't miss tackles, so I hate saying the defensive coordinator, and I thought he dialed up ample pressure. But the one thing I didn't like, and you could hate on Chris Collinsworth all you want out there, but one astute observation he had was Drake Maye was killing the Bills rolling out to the right. Like, why would you not run things to take that away, to not let him get outside to the right? Because he absolutely, including, again, that Daquan Jones not getting him down play, that was when he was going to his right. Man, I don't know. I don't know. I just, for me, Joe, I come to, because I asked you this about 10 minutes ago. What was a bad night? What can improve? What's fixable and what's broken with this team right now? I think if Matt Milano's done, and as we're recording this, I'm sure you'll find out more in the morning, but we're live, and I have not heard anything definitive about Matt Milano other than it was his pec again. I think Shaq Thompson will be fine, okay? I think the defensive tackle position will be better when Ed Oliver's back because he's one of the better defensive tackles in the NFL. You hope Larry Ogunjobi, one more game, he'll be back. And am I excited about Larry Ogunjobi? Well, I wasn't 2-3 weeks ago, but when freaking Findarius Mathis and Zion Logue are playing half of your snaps, I'm going to start getting more excited about Larry Ogunjobi coming back. And I'm going to start getting more excited when Javon Sullivan has played 5 games and done absolutely nothing. I'm going to get excited that Michael Hoyt is coming back. So I think that's going to be somewhat fixable. I think the safeties borderline stink, and I think they're stuck with them. And you just got to hope that they don't kill you. But the Trey White thing, the CB2 thing is officially a problem, and it's not going away. It's not going away.
And look, that's on Brandon Beane and McDermott.
Yeah, well, what can they do? What can you do?
Hold on. No. Let me get there. They can make a trade. Okay, they are wheeling. They can restructure deals, whatever. But I'm saying they basically rolled back the same secondary as like last year, and like I thought the secondary had issues last year, and like couldn't like they had issues with defending the pass. You know, we saw it with Mahomes in the playoff game, and they just rolled everyone back. And like I know, like I did not count on Maxwell Harrison to like start. I just didn't. I don't know. Like it was like, well, if he starts as a bonus, I know he got hurt, and then they gave Trey White a decent deal, which was like, you know, I talked about how when he first signed, I remember you and I were like, oh, it's a practice squad guy. Then we saw the contract, like, oh, he's not a practice squad guy. He's gonna play. that's on them. Like they kind of rolled back the secondary and they needed to make improvements. And I think that's what they're gonna do. Also tonight, your boy Magabosa, I'm sorry, Joey Bosa, I didn't really see him that much tonight. Am I wrong? Did you see
Well,
Bosa
he got
tonight?
caught inside on a play. He had a couple pressures, nothing of note. AJ Epinesa played well, though. So
Yeah, he played
I
well.
was
Yeah,
fine. The Bills, put it this way, if there were strengths in this game, if you said, what are the biggest bright spots for the Buffalo Bills in this football game? I think number one, pure far and away is Dalton Kincaid. I think he
sure.
is establishing himself as the best weapon on this football team now, outside of James Cook, of course. Talking about in the passing game. And I would say the defensive end position between Greg Rizzo and AJ Epinesa, I thought that was really good. I thought the linebackers, maybe I'll be wrong when I would go back and watch it, but I thought Bernard and Shaq Thompson and Milano in the first half played really, really well, but then he didn't come back out and play in the second half. The linebackers were good. It's the secondary. Look, they sacked him 4 times. Maye was under pressure. These plays that they were making, knock a ball down. I don't think the Bills... Did the Bills have a pass defendant in this football game? The entire game. Did one safety or one corner knock down a Drake Maye pass? I literally, help me out, folks, if you're watching this live. Did the Bills break up one pass this whole football game in 4 quarters? I cannot think of one in this football game. How many passes did Drake Maye throw? 30. Not one pass breakup that I remember happening. Not one.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. Hey, I'm still confident. I know you are too, and you're gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, it's a loss. And look, I thought it was gonna be a close game. It stinks, but I'm curious what's gonna happen at the deadline. I will say this as I get to flush more in a little bit, unless you have more stuff to say. I'm not a fan of next week's Monday night game. Not a fan of it at all. I know last week I said they were gonna go 10-0. I've changed my mind. I'm not going to be a fan of this Falcons game. I think this could be an issue for them.
Sure. Absolutely could be an issue. Look, will I be over it tomorrow?
Yeah,
not really. I mean, I won't be mad like this. I'm not going to act like a baby like I kind of am right now. The fan always comes out of me after these games and these type of losses too. I would rather a Bills team goes out and just shits the bed and gets beat 31-14. You know what I mean? I could get over that quicker than I could get over this type of game. So, am I so confident in the Bills? Sure, absolutely. I definitely
think we all
am.
are. Yeah,
but I'll say this though. Again, you look at their 4 wins and you strip away that Jets game. The Ravens, if Derrick Henry does not fumble that ball, and it's not like he dropped it, Ed Oliver made just a fantastic play and punched it out, okay? But the Bills, in some ways, were lucky to win that football game. I still think Miami, too, that ugly interception of Bernard, inexcusable. Miami was a player or 2 away. The Bills could have lost that game. The Saints gave them all they can handle and more, I thought, last week. That was a really sloppy game. So the Bills have been kind of flirting with this result. Like I said, 3 of the 4 games, there's been a lot to nitpick through the first month of the season, but they were 4-0. So it's like, well, you can only nitpick so much. You know what I mean? So I'm not surprised. I also worry about the Atlanta game. You know why? Because they got good receivers and a quarterback who can throw the football. Drake London is a great receiver. They got other guys too who can catch the football, and I'll keep saying it. They're stuck with Trey White unless Brandon Beane makes a trade. I don't know what's up with Dorian Strong, but a neck injury and going on IR one day after missing practice is not a good sign. I can tell you that much. And Max Searson is not really close. So do they make a trade? Can they? Sure. Is it going to be easy? No, because they're in bad cap shape and they got some bad contracts on this freaking team too.
Yeah. I'm scared of Stefon Diggs. I'm a little bit scared of him. I'm not scared of the Patriots, but I'm scared of Stefon Diggs because I don't know what it is, but like I'm just going back to him again. He was electric tonight. And like,
they had no answer for him, man. That's what it comes down to.
He was a man possessed tonight.
He was the best player on the field in this game. Is that fair to say? Stefon Diggs tonight on this game was the best player on the football field.
Absolutely. He was electric. And I still miss him. I don't know why they broke up or what the fuck happened. We'll find out in a Ty Dunn book from 5 years from now. Who the hell knows? But yeah, I definitely miss him. And I saw on video he was doing like an Instagram live video where he was dancing in the locker room, and Bills fans are pissed off at him.
Well,
Which I'm like, what do you expect? They won. Like this is what happens when you go back to your old team. You fucking look,
he
you should
came
talk
out.
shit.
He came
He
out
was
this
pissed.
game.
He
This
was
game meant more to him. It meant a lot to him. And this game, I feel like I just also feel like the Patriots, the Bills looked entitled almost at times. Is what I'm telling you. And I think the Patriots were just on this night the hungrier team. There was an opportunity for them to make a name for themselves, and they did. I still think the Bills are going to win AFC East,
yeah.
but
It's
you know,
just
a
look,
home
they got to get
loss.
healthy. Look, I need Ed Oliver back there. Maybe Ed Oliver will help the defense, the secondary.
But that's
We'll
it
see.
though.
Okay, but like I said, they'll look your boy Bean, Mr. Fucking Meme, sunglasses, shades, who all the Bills bro beat love. I think he's going to make a deal. He's going to find a cornerback somewhere. They need that very badly. The Trey White thing is not working. And I think the bottom line here is if you don't have balance, they're in trouble a little bit on offense, because I think Josh presses a little bit too much. And I do think I know you disagree with me, but some people in the comment section did agree. I think playing Diggs like second time, like he's really pressed in the game. And I do think that's in the back of his head a little bit. Maybe not.
Maybe,
Who
maybe.
knows?
I'll tell you this. One last quick question. Then I want to get to your Mount Flushmore. I got a couple comments, really good ones from the live that I want to
Sure.
highlight as well before we get out of here. But
Mhm.
man, I don't care. First of all, a loss would eat away at Sean McDermott. A loss to a divisional rival would eat away at Sean McDermott. A loss to a divisional rival at home in primetime would eat away at Sean McDermott. A loss to a divisional rival in primetime when Stefon Diggs absolutely owns you is that's gotta really, really eat away right now at
Mhm.
Sean McDermott. He's gotta be freaking fuming. And that's not a question.
Sure.
It's just a point that I wanted to make. Anyway, all right, let's get to so every week on this show where people are doing their Mount Rushmores, the best of everything. Joe has done a series of Mount Flushmore where we do the worst of everything in this last stadium of or this last season at Highmark Stadium. I don't think this game's going to qualify for
It's
your
close.
Mount
It's
Flushmore,
close, but no, there's worse.
but this
Yeah.
week's category was the worst primetime games for the Bills
At
at
the
Highmark Stadium.
at Highmark Stadium. So we got to go with obviously, and I kind of feel bad. Like there's a part of me that wants to take these two games out because I've talked about them so much. The 56-10 game against New England on Sunday night,
Sure.
awful. Randy Moss, 4 touchdowns. Tom Brady, JP Lawson was terrible. It was a horrible game, embarrassing. Bad. The Dallas game, Nick Folk, gets the game-winning field goal. It was just a travesty, and I hate Jerry. I have always hated Jerry Jones. I could make a list of things I hate about Jerry Jones. I always remember at the end of the game, like him yelling, "We won the goddamn game!" and his fucking, you can read his lips in the fucking box, and I wanted to kill him. Those are the two I think every fan probably has
100%.
on
Sure.
the thing. And look, the primetime games have been kind of on and off. Like they played a little bit in the 90s there, and then the 2000, then the drought happened, and they weren't really on prime time all that much. I will say this happened in 2008, Monday Night Football, year after the Dallas game, Bills Browns. The Bills Browns game that doesn't get talked about enough because 6-3 overshadows it. This was the one where Ryan Lindell misses a 47-yard field goal. It goes wide right at the end of the game. It's where Trent Edwards threw 3 interceptions in the first quarter, and that was when we were very high in Trent Edwards, and we were like, "Oh, he could be good," and then he throws freaking 3 picks. And Marshawn Lynch has a great game in that series, and they lose. And the end I remember will be wide right happened, and then like they shot Jim Kelly, who used to always be on the sidelines. They show him, and he looks like he's death because he saw ghosts from Scott Norwood. So that's number 3 on my list. Number 4. This one is going to be tough, but I'm going to go with the New England game from 2021. That stupid windstorm. It was terrible. It was like one of the worst games I ever watched, just quality wise. There was no running. It was just annoying with the wind and shitty. That was just a bad game, and we talked about that one as well. So of course, hey, it's 3 of the 4 New England games, and crazy. It's just crazy to me as badly as New England has been, like the last 3-4 years, like the end of Belichick, the Bills have only swept them twice, and every other year they either split or the Patriots sweep them in terms of since McDermott's been here, which is just kind of crazy to me a little bit,
Yeah.
because you would just think they would pulverize them. And again, this is a different team now, but like 2 years ago when they were shitty, they won with Mac Jones, and but hey, those are my beautiful memories. So hooray, go Bills. Where are the comments at?
I'm gonna pull up a couple comments. I got a shout out my buddy Jay Sabuda said shot a crown. That's to yesterday.
You were hungover yesterday. You were pandering to the UK people.
Oh, yes, I was. Real quick here. Again, if you're still around here at the end of the show, which by the way, man, we're close to 1,200 live right now, well past midnight. That's pretty cool. So thank you so much to everybody who has popped on by. Two things. Yes, I did end up there, but my buddy came over. We had some Crown single malt whiskey. We did like 4 or 5 shots. Then I went to Sunny Reds and he started buying more. I did a lot of shots yesterday on Saturday, way more than I should have. Then I ended up downtown at the Banshee, the UK Bills backer bar. What a shitty game. I feel bad because these were some awesome people, man. I had a really good time with them. A lot of Bills Mafia people, that you would know. And then a lot of people, a nice solid group from the UK were there. I got a fun picture with them, spent a few minutes hanging out with them. Really cool people, like the party too, man. That was a good time, man. So it's always cool to meet fans, especially from, other countries and stuff like that come in. But yeah, I woke up, I think it was like 4:40 in the morning. I remember looking at the clock and I literally went to the bathroom and popped a couple extra straight Tylenol. I was like, this day's gonna suck, and it sure as hell did. And now it really did suck at night. Let me get to a couple.
I want you to real quick because you're drunk. I heard that if you drink Gatorade and like have a aspirin or a Tylenol before you fall asleep after you're wasted, you won't have a hangover.
I don't know about the Gatorade. The food and the aspirin before you go to bed has always been a gem for me. I didn't do it last night. Like I said, I wasn't really thinking too much by the time I got home last night. But anyway, yeah, it was a fun night. A shitty end to the UK Bills backer bar, having to watch that shit that we watched tonight. Let me get to a handful of comments here before we bounce. Marino's Legacy says, everything they invested on defense, and I'm just not seeing it. Yes and no. They have invested a lot on their defense, and it does continue to be. Joe, this will be another conversation for another time, but I feel like some guys like Taylor Rapp, and I'm going to say Teron Johnson, man, it's kind of like they're losing. I know Taylor Rapp's not young or not old at all, but it's kind of like they're losing their fastball. It's like they've lost a lot of speed. They have invested a lot in their defense, and for the most part, they're not getting a lot of return. But again, when Daquan Jones and Deion Walker and whoever the hell number 72 is, like Fedarian Mathis and Zion Logue are your 4 defensive tackles, I'm not quite sure, what you have around that. It's going to hurt, man. And Maz Vids actually said the opposite. He said the Bills had 4 sacks and 6 tackles for a loss. Yes. We spent the first 16 minutes of this podcast pitching about the defense. And the defense, at the end of the day, I felt like they played well enough for the Bills to win.
They allowed 23 points, and to me, it was 2 really bad drives. And then Drake Maye made that stupid throw.
Just a couple of great plays. I mean, I said the Bills had 3 turnovers. One of those turnovers, the Bills got right back. Literally the next play on defense. I think it was Shaq Thompson. Was it Shaq Thompson? Yeah, Shaq Thompson punched the ball out from Stevenson. I forgot about that, man. Shaq Thompson, if Milano's gone, I'm all right with Shaq Thompson. Let's just put it that way.
Hopefully he lasts. He's a bit older, and that's my only worry.
Yeah, just get through the season. Just get through the season. You know what I mean? I'm not worried that he's not the future of the Bills, but he could be fine from the present. Definitely need a linebacker or safety upgrade. This ain't it. I don't agree about the linebacker part. I do agree about the safety part. I just don't think it's coming. They're not giving up on Cole Bishop. Sean McDermott loves Taylor Rapp, and they got DeMar Hamlin as a backup if one of them go down. That's your safeties for this year.
Do you think break in case of emergency? Do you think Jordan Poyer's getting closer a little bit? Would
I like to see it? Dude, I mean, if this is the best you're going to get from these guys, yes. Will we see it? I don't think so. I think I think DeMar Hamlin's next up. I think if somebody goes down or if somebody's play gets that bad, it's going to be Hamlin. So I think it would take multiple injuries for Poirier to get out there. I would say Poirier would be ahead of Jordan Hancock, the rookie, just because I just don't think Sean thinks he's ready to play. Here's a good one from Marinos. He said, so tired of the top picks not contributing and the ridiculous system excuses. There's some validity to this point. Listen, when you lose by 3 points, what did they get from the rookies today? What did they get from them? Max Harrison didn't play. Teacher Sanders didn't play. Landon Jackson, did he see a snap? He was active. I'm not sure he saw the field. So they got nothing from him. Jackson Alls has been good. He didn't do anything tonight. They had nothing from their rookies, let alone their top picks in this game. They were hurt, so that's really tough.
Well, look, I'm not counting on rookie. Look, I would love if rookies come through and did something. I'm not counting on them. I will say, I thought you want to talk about Kincaid. He played well. He's a draft pick, a higher one. I thought Coleman was okay. I mean, the fumble sucked, obviously. I don't know. Yeah, it would be nice if some of those other guys like came through. It'd be nice if Dawson Knox did something more than fucking air guitar every fucking game. Oh, they didn't play the fucking song. So that's the other thing. You know what? They gotta figure out that song, like when to play it. Like you can't just play when everything's great. Like play at the start of the fucking fourth quarter. Every game. Play at the start of the fourth fucking quarter. Why is that hard to do?
I'm just saying, I ever hear that song again.
I know. Last thing, one other thing I want to ask you. What'd you think of the white
hated it.
You hated him?
I hated not because they lost. Not because they lost. Where the white jerseys with the you want to have a white out. The crowd was white. That was cool. Cool. Aesthetically, that was really cool.
That looked cool as hell.
I hate the jerseys because there were too many plays where I couldn't figure out who was who. I think they said it on the broadcast too. Couldn't tell who the numbers were. That was annoying to me. They looked dope, like in promotional pictures. You know what I mean? With professional photographers, the helmets were sweet, but wear the helmet and just wear your normal white on whites, and I would have been.
You're a boomer. You're just mean.
Dan Mayer said, Sports Talk Radio and Podcasters has some quality content for this week. The loss will get fans talking and analysts crunching the numbers. Well, thanks for that, Dan. That happens every week, no matter what, man.
Airball Quinn's going to tweet tomorrow and be like, everyone's panicking in the morning. I don't know what's wrong with you.
Let me bring up one of my favorite comments from this stream. Yeah. It's from Simone's. He says, we're not going to talk about Benford. Well, we won't today because
we did talk about Benford.
We talked about him a little bit. We talked about him a little bit.
Why didn't he go on Diggs? And you were like, well, the film tells me that they play zone and one guy that has this. I'm like, well, fucking he should shadow him.
Benford got beat a couple times by Diggs. I know there was one play where Diggs made the ball, or maybe Benford thought he was going to get a flag. He kind of turned around to the ref before the play was even over. Stefon made that really good catch, the toe drag on the sideline. Christian Benford is, I'm still waiting for the lockdown corner version of Christian Benford. We haven't seen that this year. I think we've seen if we were giving out grades, Christian Benford would be a B. He hasn't been an A player this season.
He's been
remember Daniel Bryan when Triple H said he wasn't an A plus player?
You know what it is? It's yes, I remember that. It's honestly, to me, a lot of hype was coming into this season about him. Like, you gonna throw at him. And they thrown at him, and he's giving up some plays, and I'm like, okay, well, he's not Deion Sanders over here. And you know what I mean? So, but like, it's the secondary is whacked. There's no question about that. And I'm trying to think of like, thank God Joe Burrow's hurt, because I mean, I don't want to wish anything on ill, but you know what I mean. But like, that matchup would be a disaster with those wide receivers, a disaster. You know, with the like, and they're and, you know, I'm trying to think like in the AFC, like who are like these, like what? Let me real quick. What passing teams in the AFC scare you? Like in terms of like, oh man, like
Kansas City, Chargers, okay. Denver,
okay.
Maybe. No, I was going to say Pittsburgh, not Pittsburgh, but Kansas City, absolutely, they scare me. Denver definitely scares me. Like I said, the Chargers got good receivers and a good quarterback. Okay. Indianapolis, keep laughing. They keep scoring 5-6 touchdowns every fucking week, man.
They're on crack.
There's lots of teams. The Bills' pass defense ain't statistically they were good. I think the Bills were like second in the NFL pass defense because everybody was running on them, so nobody even threw the ball.
This was the one game that they were good against the run, you know, and the passing game was a little.
They just again 4 quarters, and I cannot. I've still been thinking about it since I said it. I have not remembered one pass breakup this entire football game. Not one defender got one hand on a football to knock it down. Not once this entire football game.
Yeah.
Steve Noble said, when you keep winning, you're reluctant to self-evaluate and get better, no matter how tight your system is. This loss and how they react will tell a lot. It's a good point. This Atlanta game is big. How they react in primetime again on the road after I'm pretty sure they're feeling pretty embarrassed. Home loss right now is going to
I'll say this.
to tell a lot.
I think Sean's going to go back to we need to run the football better, because that's his defense mechanism. Whenever they lose a game, he doesn't blame the defense. He usually will blame, like, we didn't run the football enough.
Well, they lost two fumbles. They lost two fumbles, and neither of them were running backs. Neither of them were running backs. There was a tight end and a receiver who lost the fumble. So I agree with you. I think that's a good point. Paul Walker says Diggs scored 0 touchdowns. It was irrelevant. We beat ourselves. The beating ourselves point, that's a good point. The Diggs not scoring a touchdown and meaning like it's irrelevant, that's crazy, dude. Paul, you're my guy, but that's a crazy take right there. Stefon Diggs dominated the Buffalo Bills. If Stefon Diggs rolls his ankle in the first quarter, I kind of feel like the Bills might win that game by 14 points. That's how much I think Stefon Diggs influenced that football game. Marino's Legacy says they need C.J. Gardner-Johnson too. No juice. I don't know, man. That dude just got cut real quick. He had a big contract. He already got cut. They're not going to make that kind of trade. Dan Mayer says Blue Jays versus Cubs 2025 World Series matchup. I don't give a shit.
Oh.
Yankees are getting decimated right now. I'm a Yankees fan, and
I don't really care.
They're getting completely decimated. I think it's about it. I mean, I got a lot more comments, but I don't want to really.
I mean, I love the comments. I love questions. If someone wants to ask us a question in the next 20 seconds,
well,
do it now.
I can't scroll through all these, so if you saw one or two,
new one,
you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to read it.
If anyone has a question right now, say it now. There's people in the chat, and then that way Pat can see it and pull it off. A question.
Well, you're also more than welcome to read one. It doesn't necessarily have to be pulled up in the chat.
I don't want to scroll up. I'm lazy, so like you could do something for once. I told you to get your son to do this, for God's sakes.
Do you think my son wants to
what about your
produce
wife?
My shit at freaking midnight after a Bills loss?
The Bulldog son is producing. Why can't you get your son to produce?
You know what? Here's what we'll do. Here's how we're going to end this. My son, who's starting to be a prick, by the way, and not watching the games with me like he always did.
Well, I don't want to watch the game with you.
Honey Boo Boo's house watching the game tonight.
Honey Boo Boo. Oh.
Let me give you a couple of his takes.
Okay.
Because,
takes.
He doesn't give me takes often, so I usually kind of feel like
Jane's takes.
I'm going to read this from my son, Shane Moran. These are very in text from my son throughout this football game who did not watch the game with me. Kind of random. Here's one. Why the fuck is Ray Davis starting out a crucial fucking drive? Oh, my son's got a potty mouth right there.
I agree with that.
Do we not like James Cook on a 2nd and 3? Do we just not like James Cook? That's a separate tweet. My wife, apparently we have to save him. Chris Collinsworth was talking about that being a long season. You got to save him. All right, Shane, what the hell is going on with this offense today? What is this, a college run offense? Oh, it's bad. Josh Allen is being so hesitant today as well. Had Cook in the flat, but pulled in and threw an interception. You said it. He was pressing there a little bit. I want these jerseys burned into the ground. God, we are a team of simplicity. But Joe can only do that 1 of 3 weeks at a time. What Joe Brady, what a joke. Then he also says, get Trey White the F out. Can't play back on arguably the best short route running wide receiver in the league. It's a good point. He's saying Stefon Diggs is an elite route runner and Trey White's running back 15 freaking yards down the field at the time. He does that. That is bad. I agree with that 100%.
You should get Shane on the show. Why isn't Shane with you instead of, I don't know, who do I hate that you have on there on the show normally?
You love everybody.
Yeah. I mean, why is he on here? He should be on here with you. Like, he'd be a good, come on. Use the Moran family name. It'd be great. Be like Shane and Vince.
I got 2 more from him. Joey Bosa has been getting beat outside all night. Might be a major problem down the season if not addressed. And then his last one, embarrassing ass game. I need Joe Brady to do what we did the last 4 games, not this cute ass shit that we've saw today. That's just not who we are. That's just not who we are. We are a basic team and it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's kind of like you were just saying about you got to be a balance and run the football and things like that. some good takes from my guy, man.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
still
Shane's
pissed at him though, but
Yeah. The Saints wide receiver. What's the one guy's name?
Chris
Olave.
Olave,
Well, do you want him?
yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, yes. If you could make one trade right now,
Okay.
if you could make one trade, if you got it in you, you got the draft capital and the cap space to restructure and to make one move that's not absurd, but you could go get yourself a bomb wide receiver, or you could get yourself a clear upgrade at over Trey White. Which one are you making?
God, that's a tough one. My heart says wide receiver because I've been on that train for as long as I can remember. But my brain says cornerback because I gotta go cornerback. Because look, I think Dalton. I think they have wide receiver issues without question. But you still have James Cook who can help. You still have, like, in terms of like an offensive weapon, you still have Dalton Kincaid. Shakir's good. That secondary right now is not. It's just a little bit wonky. There's not a great support staff back there outside of Benford and Johnson normally, but obviously he struggled today. But I think I have to go there. But that's a hard one. But I would say, like, you got a gun in my head, I would say cornerback probably. But
I'm prefacing this by saying I do not think they make a trade or a significant trade, but saying that,
why would you say that? Why don't you think
because
they will?
I just don't, man.
They always
some of
do
the
that.
contracts they have.
Oh, God.
I'll give you an example. Why I would love to see a wide receiver. That would be my preference. I would love to see them get a Chris Olave. If he can be available, I would say go get Chris Olave. But bro, they're paying Samuel and Palmer like over $8 million a year each.
Mm-hmm.
Each. They're sticking with them. Corner, they got a first-round pick in Max Hairston. It could happen. I could see a scenario where corner gets trade. There could be a trade. If Dorian Strong, who looked promising and just a week ago was taking reps away in the game from Trey White, if his injury is just a 4-week injury, he might play. But I could see corner. For me personally, if you could give me one position where I want an upgrade, it's defensive tackle. I need an upgrade over Daquan Jones. Daquan Jones should be a second-team guy at this point. Give me Ed Oliver with a strong one tech next to him. That would be the first move I'd make. Be better in the middle of the defense. Give me a guy who could clog lanes. Give me a guy who could get to the quarterback and bring him down. Give me a guy who's an upgrade over to Daquan Jones. I think they need a better defensive tackle. If they're better in the middle, it'll make Bernard and Shaq Thompson and Dorian Williams better, and Milano if he's ever plays again. So I really think they could use a better defensive tackle. TJ Sanders is a year away. Deion Walker flashes. He's a good rookie, but there's just not any consistency there yet, which is understandable. He's a rookie. He'll be fine. But this year, you're trying to win a championship this year. You need to get another really good defensive tackle. Ain't going to happen because Larry Ogunjobi's going to be back in a couple weeks. That's what I'm telling you. I don't think they're going to make any real trade. So
I think they will. So
well, we'll see. All right, let's put a wrap on this. It's late. We're both tired. I still got to get the audio part up. It's 1 a.m. right now. I do thank everybody. Like I said, nearly 1,200 people for checking us out. Solid handful of you on the video side, staying all the way to the end. An annoying game, but it was going to happen at some point. It was just going to happen at some point. You know, Philly lost at home to Denver today. Just shit happens. All right, it is what it is. They weren't going to go 17-0. It's probably, if there was 2 losses that you didn't want to have in the first 5 games, Baltimore, you wanted to beat Baltimore. That was important. I'd say this was probably the second biggest game they've had so far this season, and they lost. So we might have a potential fight right now in the AFC East. Don't go crowning the Bills. I said if the Bills won, this division was over before Columbus Day. Well, guess what? It's not. This is going to be a fight, maybe. Anyway, so anything else? Or are you done?
I'm just looking on Twitter. People are very angry at Stefon Diggs. So, like, my whole thing with the Hasek thing, maybe in 10 years it will be like that, where everyone likes him again. But yeah, they're still sour grapes there.
Jealousy tonight. He said all the right things. I thought Stefon Diggs said all the right things all week. I thought he said all the right things pregame. He was excited. He's a competitor. He wants to win. He did. he's celebrating properly. I don't think he's done anything wrong. So if people are hating on him, they're just hating to hate.
Yeah, I just wish we had closure as what the hell happened outside of the rumors and innuendos and all that shit. But whatever.
Yeah,
I
hear you.
Bye.
All right, well, I'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, I am going to watch the All-22. I want to see if the secondary made a play in this game, and I want to see if the receivers were open at all in this game. We'll take a look at that. Plenty more. Biggest takeaways found the film. That'll be tomorrow. Matt Warren will be with me on Wednesday for our weekly positional analysis and report cards. And then Thursday, Mike Harrington from the Buffalo News joins me. The Sabres preview episode. The Sabres will be kicking off their season on Thursday night. So for Joe from Queens, I'm Patrick. Thank you very much for listening. Brand new show. Talk to you guys